Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Real Women, Real Talk. It is a pleasure to be back with you. And I am Trenace Richardson. I am the founder of Real Women, and I am joined by my co-host.
I am the fantabulous Shavon Carter, a facilitator of Real Women.
Yes, you are. And you have tuned in to Real Women, Real Talk, where we are extending our Real Women Rock Sister Circle to you. This is our opportunity to allow you to just get a sneak peek into what it's like to experience real women. And we are so elated to be able to share with you in this way. Would you mind, please share this with somebody? Let somebody know we're here. And then don't forget to like and follow and share our posts and our website. We want you to go to all of those places. You can find all of that information at realwomenrock.org. Please share it with somebody. And so we start off with our first segment, Real Talk. And I tell you, I'm ready to jump right in, sister.
All right.
With this episode, I think we in our 30s, we growing up with this podcast. And so Real Talk, how are you doing today?
So, sister, I am doing so good. I got the sneezy. So if you hear, me a little nasally, it's fine. It's just my allergies acting up. But I'm excited. Let me tell you why I'm excited. So I am now 2 weeks away. At the time of this recording, I am 2 weeks away from starting my practicum. So if you have been listening to our podcast from the very beginning, you have heard me talk about, just to think about it now, the fears and the anxiety that came from me even looking for a practicum site, because I am in school right now studying, getting a master's in counseling. And so at the beginning, I was just so nervous about reaching out to the centers. And then I think I shared at some point that I did finally reach out. And then I said I had an interview. And now we are at the point of getting started.
Look at that growth right here in this sister circle.
Exactly. So I was just thinking about that. It's like, oh my God, we are here now. So I just had to share that with you all. And I was just talking to my site supervisor last week, and she's so excited about me coming on board. And she's shared that she does outreach opportunities, like to help people understand more about mental health. And so I was like, oh my God, I love that kind of stuff. So she wants me to help with that. She also leads counseling groups, which she wants me to help with. So I love that kind of stuff. So I'm just really excited about this new venture and just how it's going to be and just what it's going to unlock in me. So I can't wait to tell you all about
this
it.
This is so up your alley. Oh my God.
Alley, right? I love it so much. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting.
I'm excited for you. Yeah, this has been a journey. And I just remember, like, I think there was a point when you and one of our sisters were kind of thinking about it and in the throes of beginning it around the same time. And then you took a turn and a detour and decided to do some things slightly different and then come back to it. And you are here. I just love it.
I'm so excited about it. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. I can't share what I talk about with my clients, but I can share the experience that I'm having. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we want them to know that they are getting a jewel in you. So I'm loving it.
Thank you. How are you doing, sister?
So, sister, I'm doing really well. I'm like really feeling myself, girl.
So y'all can see she is slinging her braids, her luscious braids that she has.
You can hear me smacking my lips too. I'm just feeling myself. I feel like a round the way girl.
Yes, they're so cute, honey. They are so cute.
Because it's my birthday month. And because it's my birthday month, we're doing all the things this month. I decided that I'm doing 50 things.
Oh, yes. I love that. Yes.
And I'm gonna, to those who I love and know, I'm gonna share the 50 things. Some of them are free, just taking a nature walk or, just some light things. But
Mhm.
I've listed 50 things that I love and want to do and want to experience, and I'm gonna do them. And it doesn't even have to all be in the month of June. I'm gonna spread it out a little bit over the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm
I
excited. This is
love the idea.
it
Oh.
feels good to
Mhm.
be at this stage of my life and love me for me,
Yeah.
and know that every day is not perfect. I don't always feel like everything is going my way, but
Mhm.
I really feel like life is working for me, and
Mhm.
not against me. And
Yeah.
so all things that are working in my favor. So
Yes, I
yeah,
love
good.
that. Wonderful.
Yes.
Celebration of life. I love it. Mm.
Yes, so I'm feeling good. You're excited about your placement. We want
Yes.
to know how y'all are feeling. Please let us know. How are you? Just reach out to us if you want to share anything about what's going on with you. We want to hear from you throughout here, all of our segments. If there's anything you want to share with us, please reach out to us at speakpipe.com/real women real talk. We would absolutely love to hear from you. All
Yeah.
right.
Love it.
So I do have one other real talk question for you, sister. And I'm just going to do it by paying homage to someone we both love and appreciate, the,
Mhm.
the newest country girl, Beyonce.
Yes, Country Carter. Come on.
Yes,
Cowboy
shout
Carter.
out
Yes,
to Cowboy Carter. And
yes.
so it just made me think about that country living. You are Florida country,
Yeah. Yes.
and I am Virginia country. I think
Mhm.
those are two different types of country, but because we are familiar with what country life, Southern life might be like,
Mhm.
I have a little cute would you rather
Okay.
question. Okay.
Mhm.
So, real talk, would you rather be in the hood late at night, or would you rather be in the country with no street lights late at night?
Oh, that is hilarious. Okay. Man,
Ooh,
so I have experienced both
okay.
environments. So I grew up in the hood. I'm a Florida
Hmm.
girl. I'm from Jacksonville. It gets real down in the Ville.
Hmm.
And uh, the neighborhood that I grew up in, I would not want to walk around in that hood because you can get shot or robbed or something. So and my family is from Valdosta, Florida, which is a real small country, Georgia town. So we would be outside, when we were younger in the dark, just playing around. So I would choose the country dark, no street lights, because we didn't have no street lights back then, but we still had a good time and it felt
Right.
safe. So yeah, let me get that
Yeah.
country road with no street lights. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, you don't often surprise me on this here podcast, but I'm surprised by the answer. I really am. I thought you were gonna say, you can handle any hood.
So
You were
unless I'm with somebody from that hood, nah, I'm
right.
good. But if I myself, no, thank you.
Oh, very surprised. Well, you
Mhm.
know my answer. I don't.
Yeah.
All things country for me in any
Uh,
way, shape, or form, and I totally agree with you. I literally grew up, and we didn't think we were so country. Like, I mean, but we didn't have paved roads. We had the roads with rocks and stuff.
we did too, the little dirt roads. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so and would play in the woods in the back, and really
Mhm,
had no concern for the time of day or night it was, and
mhm,
really just felt safe. I think, we knew of the crazy people in our neighborhood, so we knew to stay away from them or don't go over to that house because that's the mean old lady's house, that kind of stuff. But because we knew it and were comfortable, who needed street lights,
right. Yeah, you
so
can see.
so
Yeah.
yeah. And I know some people, um country no street lights means just make sure it's us and not them,
Yeah.
whatever that
Yeah,
means.
exactly. Yeah.
So I know, but that just hasn't been
Downside.
my experience. Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
main thing we would have to worry about would be the bugs, because those insects come out, honey, and they will bite you up.
Child, they'll be like, ooh, it's fresh meat out here.
Exactly. Like,
And
oh
don't
my
start sweating. Oh my God, they love it.
goodness.
Yeah.
Mm.
So thought that was fun.
Yeah,
Just trying to find out where we are. And so we both want to stay in the country, at least for that at night anyway.
absolutely. Yeah, it's real safe. Mhm.
Thank you for indulging me. So, having a little fun with this. I want to go somewhere else, and it's kind of a pivot for
Okay.
our deep dive.
Mhm.
Our second segment is our deep dive, where we expose you to a topic that we want to explore together, or we may have explored in any of our Real Women Sister Circles. Again, you can go to realwomenrock.org to find out more about our sister circles that we hold in person and virtually. But we're bringing a topic to you. And
Mhm.
so this one hasn't been done for a couple of years now,
Mhm.
but it was one of the best ones, I would say. We had so much good discussion. In fact, it might have been around pandemic time, because I know it was virtual, and I think it was virtual out of necessity and not just by choice.
Mm.
And the conversations, and I think I played a video to talk about it. I had done a little bit of research.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had a really good time with this one, and I think we will today.
Yeah.
The topic is, what's in a name?
That's so good.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about names today for just a few minutes. And I know that this can be a very sensitive topic for some
Mhm.
people,
Yes.
because some people get made fun of because of their names.
Mhm.
Some people are stereotyped because of their names.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'll speak for me, just not knowing the history of my name.
Mhm.
It doesn't make it necessarily a sore spot for me. I just would love to know more about it. And um, so we're going to talk about names. I want to give you a little bit of context, and then I want you to kind of tell me your name story, if you don't
Okay.
mind. Um,
Absolutely.
so for me, my name is Trenace Nicole. My maiden name is Phaeton, Fayton.
Mhm.
And so growing up, nobody knew who Trenace was. I grew up, my aunt named me Nicole, and my mother named me Trenace based on a college family friend, a college
Mhm.
friend that she befriended.
Mhm.
That person was really sweet in college, and she loved her, and so she named me after her. So my mother and my aunt named me, but because people could not pronounce my name, Trenace, I did not use it for a very long time. Plus, my
Mhm.
nickname was just Nikki to my family. So if you were to ask my family who Trenace was, some of my uncles and cousins would not know who you were talking about. so so I grew up as Nikki,
Mhm.
and then that doesn't feel like an odd name at all until Prince Fasttail came out with Darling Nikki
Oh, yes,
in
yes.
the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So I'm in high school, and boys going, "Hey, Darling Nikki, I knew a girl named Nikki." I guess.
Oh my God.
So
Boys will
all
be
of
there.
that, just the silly stuff that came with
Mhm.
it. But then as I got older, what emerges is ancestry.com and genealogy conversations and know your roots on the PBS channel and all that stuff. And just wanting to know more about the last names, the family names, and
Mhm.
not really knowing a lot. Like I know my father's name, Phaeton, is I think French Scandinavian, but
Mhm.
I haven't done enough homework to really know it and understand it. And then my
Mhm.
mother's family names are Whitfield and Clark. Those are
Mhm.
names. And so And then, of course, my married name, Richardson. And then we know all of the son names, Johnson, Richardson, Williamson. They are slave names because what those last names come from is you are the son of William or the son of John or the son of Richard. And so they did away with African names when they brought people here and just gave them, their names. So much like stuff around names for me, just not knowing a whole lot or wanting to better understand. And I think for me, I want to dig into the genealogy of my names and know the history and where we come from. The last thing I'll say before I ask you is, as Black people, white people come from different nationalities. We are all a melting pot. Everybody comes from somewhere. White people are Polish or Irish or German or, and so many of them know their history because their folks came here as immigrants by choice and they passed that genealogy down. Where because we came by force, there wasn't a whole lot of record keeping of where exactly we came from, what tribes or what countries and that kind of thing. So many of our stories stop with slave records. And so just really understanding all of that is really important to me. So that's why I'm bringing up this topic. And I would like to know from you, sister, what's in a name for you? When it comes to your name, what thoughts come to mind?
Oh my goodness. One, before I share my name, when you were talking about people couldn't say your name, I think it's a pet peeve of mine when people can't pronounce somebody's name right. Like they always call you Trenace. That is not her name. Her name is Trenace. It's not hard to say. Trenace. Get it right. She's not
Girl.
Trenace.
Terrence, Trenace. It's a whole bunch. Anyway.
Okay, that bothers me all the time. Okay, so my name story is interesting. My father wanted to name me Chiquita Natasha Nicole Carter.
We are not joking right now.
We are not joking right now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So this was really my mother and my father. So my mother wanted to name me Chiquita because of the banana. Chiquita Bananas, the brand. And my father, I don't know what his infatuation is with having so many middle names because my little brother has a lot of middle names. So he wanted to name me Natasha Nicole Carter. But God bless the nurse who was helping to deliver me because she encouraged my mother to name me Shavon. And if I knew who this lady was, I would hug her neck because as much as there are some Shaquitas out there, and God bless you, no judgment, but I just would not have wanted that to be my name because of the stereotypes associated. It just sounds very urban to me. So especially with the Natasha Nicole part, just how Black can you get when you say Chiquita Natasha Nicole? Like you wouldn't know without a shadow of a doubt that's a Black girl.
But can I say real quick that I really love that we were almost both Nicoles.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So thankfully the nurse came and she encouraged my mom to name me Shavon. And so my middle name is Michelle. And I forgot where that name comes from. I think it's one of my mom's friends. She liked her middle name was Michelle. So Shavon Michelle Carter is my name, which I love so much. And when I was just doing some limited research on my first name, it is from the root name John, which means God has been gracious. And that is truly how I feel like my life has gone. Like no matter what I've been through, he has been gracious to me. So I think that I think names are important. I think identifying the meanings of names are important because it's almost like a label that you're putting on, your child. So I think just purpose it can be so much purpose, especially when you see somebody's life embody what their name means. So I think what's in a name that we should really take it to heart and take it seriously when we are naming our children, and just have a sense of awareness for what names mean. So yeah.
Oh, that's so good. And I love that you love your name. I love
my name.
I love that you love it.
Yes.
And I'm glad you said a couple of things to make me think about. So I don't know the meaning of Trenace, and
Uh-huh.
I I haven't I've only met a couple of Trenaces, and it took a really long time, and I started looking into who else is named Trenace. I remember
Yeah.
a long time ago, American Idol had a Trenace. This was a long time ago, and at the
Mhm.
time that was the closest I'd heard to my name, and I
Yeah.
was just so enthralled by her. I watched her every week just because our names were so close, because I
Yeah.
had never met anybody any closer than that. But oddly enough, a young lady, I'm going to shout her out and say Trenace Chambers.
Oh,
I found, so this is crazy. I can't
nice.
believe I'm sharing this. So, um, my mother named me after her college friend.
Okay.
I went to college at Elizabeth City State University, and I made such an impact on a lady who worked there because I was, like queen of the campus, blah, blah, blah. Did a lot of things. I
Mhm.
made such an impact on her. She didn't tell me this, but she decided to name her daughter after me.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So the daughter reached out to me to tell me, you are my namesake, or I am your namesake. My mom worked at the college you went to, and she named me after you. So I was able to tell my mom, we both now, Trenaces have college stories, like
Yeah.
someone from college. So it's just been passed down, and I keep up with her. She just recently graduated
Oh,
undergrad, just really exciting stuff.
love it.
So shout out to another Trenace. So
Yeah.
even though I don't have a meaning behind Trenace,
Mhm.
um, there's meaning behind
Yeah.
Trenace, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then Nicole means victory of the people, or the people's victory.
Mm.
And so I love just that victory piece. If you notice the Nike swoosh,
Uh-huh.
so the Greek root of anybody named Nicole or Nicholas is Greek Nike. That whole thing is
Uh-huh.
victory, right? Just do it. You're a winner. All of that stuff.
Nice.
So I do know
Mhm.
that little bit. And
Love
then, like
that.
I said, I'm trying to get to know my family's
Mhm.
names. And this is just stuff I don't think we get to talk about,
Yeah.
just in regular settings.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so to really dig in, we would love to know from you all. Do you know stuff about your names?
Mhm.
Um, do you have issues with your names? Because I'm about to dig into that in a second. But just want to put it out to you all to be a part of the circle, and just let us know where you are with the history of your name, and what's in a name for you. Has there been hurt, or are you like Shavon and you're just really in love with your name? Do you know the history behind your name? We would love to hear from you by going to speakpipe.com/real women real talk. So please
Mhm.
consider reaching out to us about that. I just want to delve a little bit deeper into this, sister,
Okay.
because um, you mentioned it already, right?
I think
So
that, yeah.
you
Uh,
didn't want Chiquita, and it's not that, we are not disparaging anyone. No
mhm.
individual is being disparaged in this conversation. We
Mhm.
are acknowledging the realities of discrimination, of
Mhm.
stereotypes that don't just come from the majority race or nationality. I
Right.
think we internalize some of these stereotypes, and think them about our own,
Yeah.
And so I just want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
And what has your experience been around stereotypical names? Did you grow up with people with stereotypical names, maybe in your family, or just around you in school? Do you have any prejudice against folks with stereotypical names? Just want you to delve into that piece for a second.
Yeah, I think, growing up in a predominantly Black neighborhood and going to predominantly Black schools from sixth grade to all the way up to college, actually, because I went to HBCU. So I'm just around, Black people. So I have seen all kind of names and heard all kind of names. And to be honest, to be 100% transparent, and I really alluded to it earlier, I do have a prejudice, I think, against names, and which is why I didn't want to. I'm glad that I wasn't named Chiquita Natasha Nicole, because to me it just sounds ghetto. to me.
Mhm.
And this is just me being 100% honest. And so it's just when I talk about labels, just not wanting to be labeled before someone even meets me, you know. And maybe that's something I have to work out within myself. And so if you do have a name, like I said, Chiquita, if that's your name, I definitely don't mean to offend anybody, just speaking my truth. And so, yeah, I just noticed that I didn't see anybody being treated differently. It's just I can tell when certain names come up, you know, it's just these jokes with your friends, like, oh, we know she's black, you know, or he's black. So it's just one of those things that you just people get labeled, and some people, they may not have gotten jobs because of their names and that kind of stuff. So I think it does play a part. But then too, I think, you know, people should take pride in what their name is. If you did have a name that somebody combined your daddy's name and your mama name and came up and created that name, I think when we had that circle, there are some things that you talked about, just the origin of some of the names, that has more or deeper root and deeper meaning, and just shows who we are as Black people. So yeah, but I will admit that I do have some prejudices and just stereotypes that come into my mind when I hear different names.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I'm going to use this as a teaser because I do, maybe around the taping of this, I don't know, but I do plan on in a subsequent Sister Circle getting back to this one, reviving it,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
it'll be a good one, I think, to revive. So I don't even know if I have the wherewithal in this moment right now, especially with the audio and all,
Mhm.
not to go into the depth of the historical messages, but I'll just allude to something you said. Oftentimes we assume that names like Jerome or
Mhm.
or Tyrone are just historically Black urban names when they
Yeah.
have histories in other cultures, like
Mhm.
before us,
Mhm.
in England or in Greece. They have history in other cultures, and I'm not going to do it justice now.
Mhm.
But tune in to to a Real Women Sister Circle. I
Mhm.
just want to acknowledge, for me, I do believe, you know, I have internalized some stereotypes and discrimination, possibly, or prejudice against some names.
Yeah.
And what I've, especially because I work in human resources, it is important for me and for us, everyone, to be
Mhm.
aware of our implicit biases, right?
Yeah.
To just be
Mhm.
it's not, I believe it may not be the names that are your issue. I'm talking
Mhm.
to all of us,
Mhm.
but something, you have a preference for something, which
Yes.
means that on the other side of that, there's, you know, a prejudice possibly, or at least
Mhm.
a bias
Yes.
against and for. And so being aware of what that is really the only way to combat it. Because if you act like you don't have one, then, you know, you're living in la la land, and you're going to
Mhm.
mistreat people without intending to, possibly.
Yeah.
Um, and then to acknowledge that you have it gives you the opportunity to grapple with it, and to
Mhm.
be a, you know, to be more sensitive, to be more cautious, to think twice, to, you know, apologize if, you know, check in and see if you
Mhm.
offended someone.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I've heard names and thought, wow, wow, I don't know that
Mhm.
I would have done that to my baby.
Yeah.
Uh, but we've got to be fair and recognize environmental factors,
Mhm.
you know, powerful things, reasons. Some people literally, if you grew up in a neighborhood where the alcohol in the neighborhood was the thing, like
Yeah.
to be able to say I had enough money to buy, give me one, I'm not even doing this right.
What?
I don't know, an alcoholic brand,
Tequila?
tequila. uh I'm not gonna. Y'all gonna have to kind of reach out to us and give me some of these, because I really did think so. I'm gonna just go to cars. If you had the opportunity to be like, you know what, that's the car. Mercedes, that's the
Oh,
car.
gotcha. Okay. Uh-huh.
Lexus, that's the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
then when you have a child and you have control over naming that child,
Yeah.
whatever you value, whatever
Yeah.
you have learned to value,
Yes.
that's what you're gonna tequila. Like that's we all I have are good memories of me and tequila, girl. Your name gonna be tequila, you know?
Right. Yes.
So so I just think we have to be fair that everybody's experience is not our own.
Yeah.
that's,
You
that's what
know,
I was trying to get to.
that makes me think about, so I have a girlfriend, shout out to my girlfriend Kilolo. I have
Mm-hmm.
a girlfriend whose name is Kilolo, and if you are a Martin fan, you used to watch that TV show back in the day. Shanae
Mm-hmm.
had a girlfriend whose name was Kilolo. And
Mm-hmm.
so every time she would introduce herself, we would go out and she would introduce herself. People would be like, "What'd you say? What's your name?" And it would be something that they would try to make fun of. But she has so much pride in her name, and I forgot what it means, but it has African roots and
Mm-hmm.
has a meaning associated with it. And so that is one person where it's like, even though it sounds on the outside like, girl, that sounds ghetto. But then when she explains it and her full name has meaning, it's like, man, okay, I respect it. And she does not play. Like, do not call her Lolo or anything like that. My name is Kilolo, and she will correct you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think no matter what your name is and what the meaning is, just take pride in it because that is it. And so yeah, own it.
Yeah, I love that. It is a part of what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
It makes us unique.
Hmm.
And so not allowing it, as in anything that we deal with in life, not allowing it or the challenges that come with our names to cripple us, just allowing them to be an enhancement. And I love, shout out to Kilolo. I love the
Lolo,
attitude
girl.
and the spirit in which you said that she comes from with her name.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I just thought this was a good starter to delve into what we think about our name, what energy we put out regarding other people's names, and
Hmm.
just being really sensitive to that, and asking more questions than we make judgments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really asking questions, because like you said, if you just start off with and I asked the question. I made sure you weren't joking about where your name could have gone,
Yes.
and there was no giggle with you, so there was no giggle with me. Like I took it
Yeah.
very seriously, and I think,
Uh-huh.
just subconsciously, not even realizing that that was an example. I think we really do have to be sensitive to the people, not just we know and love, but the people that are around us, because we all come from different cultures, and
Mhm.
this is a global society now. So the
Yeah,
people around you are not named like you named, and don't look
exactly.
like you, and all of that. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
one last thing I'll say about that, and which is a teachable moment for me and something that I can embrace from this conversation, is getting curious about people's names. Like I said,
Mhm.
I have a prejudice associated with it, but a reframe could be, I wonder what that name means, you know?
Mhm. Yep.
So it's kind of a takeaway from me from this conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Good takeaway. What does your name mean?
Yeah.
Where does it come from? I
Mhm.
love even what you just said about my name. I love being intentional about pronouncing people's names correctly,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
so many people, because we are a global society, someone who has a complicated name from another nationality will
Yeah.
give themselves a nickname fast so that they
Yeah.
don't have to put you through the rigmarole of saying their name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I try? Could you please just tell me what it is? Even if I can't pronounce it, I would love to hear the beauty of your real name. So yeah, just
I
being
love
more sensitive about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yay us. That was a really good, really good deep
That was
dive.
good. I love that.
All right, y'all. We hope to hear from you regarding what's in a name.
Mhm.
We are now, and we are some weeks away from, I hope by the time this is aired, we are weeks away.
Jesus, I hope this is the end of it.
But I just wanted us to go here. I had not done a current event for this segment in a while. We, for our third segment, we go into putting ourselves in someone else's shoes. And it gives us the opportunity to either discuss a scenario or discuss a current topic that's trending right now. And we haven't done that in a while. So I just want to say 2 words and then just see what comes up for you. Just see what comes up. Drake and Kendrick.
Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. So, time of this taping, and like we said, by the time it airs, maybe this will be done with, hopefully. But at the time of this taping, Kendrick and Drake, Kendrick Lamar and Drake have this rap battle going on, this rap beef going on, and they are dropping songs dissing each other in the songs. And so I am now invested, in it because it's just everywhere. The podcast that I listen to, they're talking about it. So I'm like, well, let me see what they talking about, So it piqued my curiosity. And so I would say Kendrick. I love me a good deep, cerebral word play. Like, he has a way with words, and I'm here for it. Like, I love, especially the one that he just recently dropped. I think it's like You Like That or You Ain't Like That or something like that. But it has this beat to it, and I love me a good beat. So yeah, I'm Team Kendrick.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I echo your sentiment that I hope it's over by the time this airs.
Yeah.
Because it is everywhere right now. And so I couldn't ignore it even if I wanted to. And similar to you, I just had to go down the rabbit hole of looking and listening and looking at lyrics and all of that. But I must admit, I am an old school hip hop head, right?
Okay.
We've talked about music before. And so and I'm gonna go, I must just say it. Because we are in Real Women, Real Talk. When they started saying what color my hole is and when we started going there, like I'm not invested as much anymore. And I know we had My Neck, My Back, I know we had those.
We did.
But it's different for me now. I guess at my big age, it feels a little different. So I don't want you to talk about what color all of my stuff is. But so I'm not vested into today's hip hop that way. But of course, you hear what is the most commercial and what's out here and what gets played the most. I end up getting pieces of. So I'm fully aware of Drake and Kendrick in that way, in the commercial top hits type of sense, but have not delved into their albums and, they weren't downloaded on my playlists of any kind. Not that in depth. No, Drake might be on my running playlist. He might be I Need a One Dance. So a couple of them, the most popular ones might be but because of that, I had to go do homework to investigate and figure out what I like, who I like, that kind of thing. And I know Kendrick is more conscious and cerebral, and Drake is more, pop, dance, musical, that kind of thing. This is what I have heard in doing my research, and then I'm gonna tell you who I'm for. What I have heard is that, and you can maybe more, Drake really put a lot of the people who have issues with Drake today, he put on in some way earlier. He did a feature for them that went really well. For example, like with Kendrick, Kendrick opened for him a couple of times when Drake was getting really big and Kendrick was just kind of getting started. And so for some people who are Drake fans, it feels like this is big hateration from not just Kendrick, but others who are on the anti-Drake bandwagon after he helped make them bigger in whatever ways he helped them. And so I kind of get that he's gonna have to stand 10 toes down and defend himself because he can say y'all hating because I helped all y'all, whatever, to whatever extent that's true. But and still, Kendrick is Kendrick is killing this. You hear me?
Yes.
That man said, we don't want to hear you say nigga.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay,
He has
so
double entendres. He has,
mhm.
these different meanings. He goes deep. He goes straight
Yeah,
for the gospel, and I'm here
yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Mhm.
So putting myself in, I don't even know what I wanted to say about this scenario other than I think.
It's
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is
uh,
how we going. This is how we're gonna put ourselves in their shoes.
okay.
If you were Drake at this point, when the battle is the highest,
Uh-huh.
at its height, and Kendrick was putting out 3 songs back to back.
Right.
If you were a Drake, what would you be doing right now? If you were
Yeah.
Kendrick, what would you be doing right now?
So, and from what I've been hearing, because I haven't listened, like you said, I'm not a huge Drake fan or a Kendrick fan, but I was just heavily invested into this current battle. But I think putting myself in their shoes, I would capitalize on this moment. All eyes are on both of us. So it's like drop an album, do something that can bring in some more revenue for yourself. Like I think
Mhm.
that's what I would be focused on. And I think Kendrick just dropped an album, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And so I think it's brilliant, honestly. I think
Mhm.
that's what you do it for. Everybody's looking at you, everybody's invested in, oh, who's gonna win. Okay, well, while you're looking, here goes some music. Here's
Mhm.
for you to see if I say something else about Drake in there. So I think I would just capitalize off the moment and let this be it. I think it's reached this peak. I don't know what else either of them can really say
Mhm.
after this to go. And then after a while, it's like, oh, okay, how much more beefing are we going to do?
Mhm.
And they've really kind of hit below the belt on both sides. So it's something
Mhm.
that you don't want to see it materialize into something violent, that it takes it away from just the music and friendly competition. So I would just stop here and find a way to materialize and capitalize off of this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. I think if I it sounds like, so if I'm Drake, if I'm Kendrick, um I just don't like Drake so much so that
Mhm.
I don't see us coming together to do anything necessarily. But I think the ultimate would be to make this a back and forth, and then come together and do something, even if it was more of a rivalry type
Yeah.
coming together. You know how they do these celebrity type boxing matches or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
to even do something together in that regard, if
Mhm.
it were like you said, if it could be good spirited and not turn crazy,
Yeah.
but that would be the ultimate, I think, materializing and making something out of this that they
Mhm.
could both benefit from. So if I were business managers of either one of them, I would be like, yes, we are marketing this. We are making money from this individually. Y'all want to do anything and, want to make this
Mhm.
put one on one fly and one on the other looking at each other. And
Yeah.
then y'all come, and hash
Mhm.
it out on the stage. So I would be thinking like that. It doesn't sound like Kendrick will ever want to do anything like that. I really would not, if I were them, I would not have taken it to the extent that many of the conversations have been. I think
Yeah.
um, when you start delving into criminal
Yeah.
activity, um,
Mhm.
minors,
Yeah.
and then wishing death, like,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
hope it's figurative, but if either way, it's just there's a lot of negative being said when at the end of the
Mhm.
day, this is really just music. Like,
You're right.
can we relax a little bit and let
Mhm.
parents take care of, charging people with cases and,
Right.
like, I mean, it's just
Uh-huh.
a lot being said. And I feel for Drake.
Mhm.
If I were Drake, I feel like, well, well, damn, like, like
Right.
I did help y'all.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know to what extent he's just really enjoying this right now and
Mhm.
maybe, yeah, like you said, capitalizing off of it. So hopefully they allow it to just rest. I would want it to rest at some point. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Something
And I,
something that you
yeah,
mentioned,
please go ahead.
you remember during the pandemic how they had the verses and they had
Mm-hmm.
the top contenders or whatever in the different genres, just friendly competition against each other, playing song per song. And it made me think about, from what I've been hearing, because I wasn't invested in this rap beef back in the day either, but Jay-Z and Nas, you had Gucci, Jeezy, and at some point they did come together, to do something. So I think for Jay-Z and Nas, it took years, and for Jeezy and Gucci, man, it definitely took a long time because it was real. That was some hood stuff going on. But I think, just being men and being mature and being able to come together, it can do something major for the culture. But like you said, it may take some time before, if that ever happens, it'll be a long time probably.
Yeah. I hope they both grow to maybe not mind having conversations at some
Yeah.
point beyond the
Mhm.
music. And I know this was probably the most, and I'm speaking for myself, not you, because we are some years apart, but this was
Mhm.
probably the most auntie version of
Definitely. I don't be know about these
this
babies neither.
conversation. I don't know nothing about their music, but Kendrick doing his thing. Go ahead, baby.
You putting the words together, baby. You go ahead. You so
You go
poetic.
ahead, put them
A
words together.
lyricist. Yes. Go
I love a
ahead. That was
thinking
so
man.
funny.
Go ahead, rapping.
Right.
Okay, that was fun to me.
That was good. Love it.
All right, y'all. So putting yourself in their shoes, we would love to hear from you. We've been seeing y'all. Y'all been putting it on the social medias and posting who you're rooting for and all of that. Just come on over here and share it at speakpipe.com/real women, real talk. And so this has been a wonderful conversation, sister. I have really enjoyed every piece of this. Our spiritual nugget is our last segment where we have the opportunity to maybe just share a word of wisdom, something to consider. We offer you the gift of thought with something that comes to mind for us at the end of this episode. And I'm wondering, sister, has anything come up for you?
Yeah. Going back to what's in a name, what I would say is embrace your name.
Mhm.
Own your name, no
Mhm.
matter what people think, no matter what people say about your name,
Mhm.
no matter the judgments or the criticisms that may be associated with your name. That's your name. So
Mhm.
embrace it, own it, find the meaning in it for you, and take pride and correct people when they say it wrong. That is not my name. Sure. So yeah, that's what I would say.
That is so good. That is so good. I'm gonna let it rest there because I love that who we are, part of who we are is our name.
Mhm.
And I'll say whether given or whether adopted, whether you decided to take on a name or whether it's your given name. So I love what you just said. Own it. Be all of it. Love that.
And if you can't own it, change it. Because I know people that do that too.
That's what I'm saying. Adopt a whole new one if you need to. If
Exactly.
that's your thing, do it. Because we say this all the time. We get to choose.
You get to choose.
We
Yep.
get to choose.
Yep.
I have had some fun with you today.
Yeah. Love this episode. Yes, indeed.
So y'all, please share this with someone that needs a laugh, that needs to consider what's in their name, possibly. We would absolutely love for you to like, follow us, befriend us on social media. Go to our website, realwomenrock.org,
Mm.
and you can find out more about our organization, our sister circles, both in person and virtual. And most importantly, our annual intensive is coming up in November. And so when you go there, you will surely find information. We have just locked in a lot of the details. And so we are clicking publish in just a little bit. So by the time you hear this aired, you should be able to go to the website, realwomenrock.org, and see more information about our annual intensive, November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's going to be amazing. We will talk more about it as we move closer to it. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you.
Y'all take care now you're here.
Bye.